ladies and gentlemen, PJ Farley.
One, two, three. If you're astray within the weed of my emotions, I feel you push your way up to the surface. If you're a grain of sand set aside the ocean, I find you there and see you shining through. 'Cause you stick out in a way that
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Guitar Wishes, your Guitar Wish of the Day, and I'm here again at the Main Silver Club, and we are talking to Mr. PJ Farley and Mr. Ben Hans, and they are on tour with Eric Martin at the Eric Martin Big Acoustic Show here in Hickory, and man, it's a pleasure to have you guys here. Thanks so much for sitting down.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be this side of the grass.
I tell you, man, when I got word back that y'all were okay with sitting down and talking to me, just these floods of memories of all these different things. You know, we talked off camera. I saw you back in '91 with the Warren Trickster Firehouse show, incredible stuff. You've been on stage with Kip Winger many times, and you know, just all these '80s. I would love for that music to come back.
Well, it's still here.
Yeah.
We keep reminding people. But yeah, no, we're still here.
Yeah, PJ, you on tour now with Fozzy, Chris Jericho, Richard
Yeah.
Ford, and those guys, and they're doing really, really well. They seem to be selling out most of the places they're playing. And how'd you get hooked up with Chris?
I've known Chris for, I don't know, maybe about 12, 13, 14 years or so. And over the pandemic, me and him, we have this Kiss tribute band together with Ken Slutcher and Joe McGinnis. And it's a band called Quarantine with a K.
Right,
We were just doing, just like everybody's putting those bands together to do those videos. And
Yeah.
so we do 80s Kiss, strictly 80s Kiss. And Fozzy had some dates booked in August of last year, and the bass player just didn't want to go out and do anything. So they called me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I mean, me and Chris have always talked, and it's a group thread that we just lights up all day long. But,
Right.
you know, we hadn't played together or anything until that Quarantine
Right.
band. And then I guess when they needed a bass player, Chris was like, oh, easy.
Yeah.
Easy choice.
Yeah, I
Plus, he toured with Kiss.
Yeah, and I talked to Bruce Kulick about that. And
Oh, you
he
did?
loved it.
Yeah.
He said, "Man, this is incredible." So a lot of fun. And how about you? And now on the road during COVID. I mean, the past year and a half has been so crazy for everybody. How does it feel to be back on the road doing anything in front of a lot of
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, we're lucky to do it. We're lucky to do it a lot of times too with small audiences. We kind of got away with a few during 2020. Actually, we played in Cleveland. We played on top of a shipping container outside, away from everyone, and everyone was.
So picture that.
Yeah.
A shipping container. Was it standing upright too? Because we were like 20 feet in the air.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and then there was
We were
pods
safe.
in the parking lot. It was.
just how rock should be. Everybody in
Look.
pods.
We're making the show happen. If we got to play on top of a friggin' shipping container,
That's right.
we're doing it.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
That's right. So now you're back on the road. I know that, Ben, you are huge into education, the education side of music. Tell me about education and how that's happening here pre and post COVID.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that. I mean, I'm lucky to be a private drum teacher. I've been doing that for 30 years. And when COVID hit, we just went to Zoom for most of those private lessons. So many teachers did that. And
Right.
it still works, you know?
Sure.
In fact, I have still a couple people that want to keep doing that on Zoom. So especially at distance. But man, it's been great. I love to pass it on, so I'm into all the. Being a percussionist, I get to play marching style and jazz and
Right.
rock and all these acoustic instruments and things like that. So it's an awesome thing, and I love passing it on.
Right. And speaking of passing it on, you know, your kids, do they show an interest in music? Is that something that they're interested in as well?
Yes and no. My oldest, my 10-year-old now, is she can sing. She can, you know. I taught her a little bit of keyboard, the only little bit of that I know, and she picked it up like that. But she's not pursuing it or anything. And my youngest wanted a drum set, so I bought a drum set. She bangs on it every once in a while. They're not really showing signs of going down that path. Not yet, but you know, they're kids. They go through things and they circle back. And you know, my 10-year-old is definitely the artist type, but she likes to draw and paint and sketch and stuff. So, but you never know. The creative mind wanders.
Have you taken the Trickster album cover and said, "That's Daddy"? And do they understand your past in the music business?
They do, because I mean, they've had like some of their teachers, you know, they're
Yes.
like, "Is your dad coming in today?" I've had teachers bring out like old jeans with Trickster patches on them. Look, here, we still have them. Still have 'em. So yeah, my kids are just like, "Why does Miss So and So have Trickster pants?" Yeah.
Probably not quite as important to them yet, but it will be
Yeah.
down the road. And you know, speaking of Trickster, you know, I know that you and Steve are working together on some 30th anniversary stuff. Is that right?
We've been trying, you know, obviously the 30th came and went with COVID, but yeah, I mean, as far as Trickster is concerned, we don't know what we're working on right now.
Yeah.
You know, plus I'm super busy, he's super busy.
Oh, of course.
So we're like, it's always there when we need it.
Right.
And if we can find some time for it, we'll
Yeah.
try to, you know.
Well, I was really excited when your solo stuff came out. Let me tell you, when your song "You'd Stick Out," I played it for everybody I knew. I was like, "Listen to this." Or, who's that? It's a bass player from Trickster. No way. And so, you know, I loved that. I probably even ordered several of those
Awesome.
to give
Thank
people. But your solo career, and then most recently, Chokehold. If you haven't heard Chokehold, go check it out. Steve Brown playing guitar.
Yep. In the video and all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, did you find that transition difficult, or did you always write?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, I've always been writing, but as far as doing, embarking on a quote unquote solo, you know, career, if you want to call it that,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't as much of a leap as it would have been had I not been, because I do solo acoustic shows, just, you know, playing around town when I'm home too. So it's
Yeah.
like I broke my cherry years ago, just singing and playing guitar and having to talk to an audience and stuff like that. So. Although, you know, it's different when they're actually facing you
Yeah.
and the waiting for you to play your songs.
Right.
You know, so there's a little bit of a different element, but I had a little bit more comfort going into it, being that I could stand in front of a crowd with a guitar on, sing and play and talk to people, feel
Right.
kind of, you know, natural.
Yeah, and your stint with Trickster, do you ever get used to standing in front of 18 or 15,000 people?
Yeah, and I miss it. But yeah, because when you play in front of crowds that big, it's just so surreal that. And I said this back when we were doing arena tour after arena tour. I said, in between those arena shows, we would do club dates,
Yep.
and those are so full of energy and
Right.
like.
Two totally different worlds.
It is. I mean, I would take those any day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take the merch numbers of the arena shows.
Yeah.
But those, you know, you can't deny the energy in the room of a packed club, sweaty club, and you're
Yeah.
close to people,
Yeah.
as opposed to just pointing in the dark, you know, doing the moves that you practiced as a kid, you know, and not seeing anybody.
Yeah, those are actually the exact moves I practiced as a kid. I still do sometimes.
Nice.
I did it before I came in here.
Did you?
So, hey, but Ben, I wanted to talk to you.
Sure.
Were you fans of Trickster, fans of Mr. Big, when you got the call to come and jump on? I know that y'all had known each other, were friends. Is that what it is?
I loved rock music in the 80s and 90s, and of course I heard Trickster, and I heard Mr. Big, and I heard Winger. And
Yeah.
then as I got a little older, I studied jazz and blues music, and I played that music for 25 years straight. Played a lot of clubs and festivals throughout the Midwest, and I was real lucky. I sat in with Kip Winger one night, and we hit it off, and then that led to, it's been about 11 or 12 years now we've been playing together.
Yeah.
And so, knowing that music helped me, especially as a jazz musician over those decades, just improvising and hearing things through the years.
Yeah.
When I get on the stage and play with Kip or with Eric and PJ, improvising, making them think. That's what led to this. It was an organic thing.
Right.
We met by chance. We shared a dressing room together on a gig with Kip and with Eric and PJ, and we hit it off, and it was
Right.
an organic thing. We just jammed one night, and I was like, this is fun. I'd love to do this, and they're like, yeah, let's do this. So pretty cool, man.
Do you have a style that you prefer? As such
that's a hard
such
question.
a wide range of stuff you do.
Live music.
Music in general.
So yeah, man, I love it all. So
Yeah.
I'm happy playing acoustic rock music or blues or jazz or whatever's happening. Making music with people and seeing people tap their foot or enjoy the concert or whatever it is that they're feeling.
Showing
from the
up.
music,
Yeah,
showing
showing
up.
up, yeah.
So being able to be a part of music that that. I mean, when I look out into the audience and people are enjoying the concert, or I see, you play maybe a ballad and I see that,
Yeah.
and that's what it's about. I don't care what kind of music it is, but I love playing with these guys. That's for sure. That's for sure. But all music is great for me, man.
It's incredible, man. It's I'm so happy to see live music coming back, and I'm a little bit worried with some of the spikes, that have gone on as far as COVID goes, that the crowds are not going to be there quite yet, but hopefully they will be.
I hope.
And throughout the tour, throughout the past few months that you guys have been out, have you seen it start to rise? Have you seen it start to come up?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a couple of festivals that were just, I said this, I was like, man, it's like last year never even happened. Thousands of people,
Right.
It was refreshing.
Right.
I needed to see that,
Yeah.
the first time in a long time. So that was cool. But yeah, they're coming out. I mean, they still definitely are coming out. I mean, I think everyone's just had enough
Right.
of sitting around. You just gotta live while you can.
You have to.
Here we are. Ain't nothing guaranteeing you tomorrow. I don't
Right.
care if it's COVID or a car crash. So get the hell out there and go see that band that you want to go see.
Right.
Wear the mask, do whatever you got to do, but just go.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And so, are you seeing an increase in the number of people wanting to learn how to play music? As I was talking to Eric about earlier, I know people who spent the last year and a half. Hey, man, I got some time off. I'm gonna sit in my chair for a year and a half. And there's other people that are super productive. Hey, I'm gonna take up a new instrument and do it. Have you seen an increase in the rise of education and/or educators?
Oh, I think that's an exponential thing during COVID. A lot of people took to guitars and drums. I'm living in Nashville, and I have some students that work at the Gibson factory,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't keep up. Right, they're producing guitars. There's a high demand for instruments because so many people are taking to instruments over this period.
Right.
So,
Do you guys see a full-length electric, just a monster album come out of this
No.
relationship that you've got?
I've been trying to wrangle him up to do. First, I was like, all right, let's write a record, let's do it. Then it came down to, let's write a song, let's do something. It's just,
Yeah.
schedules and, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to do.
It is.
It'd be great, sounds great on paper, but realistically and logistically,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it happening.
Well, what about with you? Anything new, down the road for you as far as a solo album? The past couple have been really, really, really good. So, anything on the
Nothing
plate?
right now. I mean, it's funny. I put my second record out in September last year. Did a couple shows, and then got super busy with Eric and with Fozzy and Rod's, another band I play in, and I kind of not able to. The shows I do, they're a little bit smaller, and so they're kind of like a labor of love.
Yeah.
So I got to kind of squeeze them into my spare time, and
Sure.
there wasn't any. So next year, I'm going to try to get out and do that and really kind of promote that one.
Sure.
Finally, a year later.
Yeah.
You know, and records, man, it's that talk about a labor of love. You know, put a record out now. I mean, it separates the men from the boys. It's like talk about doing it for no other reason but the fact of just putting music out, because that's what you have to do. That's what we do. But it also costs us money, time, all the effort. It's everything. Not a lot in return.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's not the reason we do it, but we got to have the motivation, the resources, and the time to do all that. And you know, that's
Absolutely.
in there lies the rub.
Yeah, either I could go and I could work on the song, or I could go spend some time with my kids. I mean, it's going to win out.
Yeah.
So, and it's an exciting thing for you guys to be here, and I can't thank you enough for coming in. You know, it was an honor because, like I said, man, seeing you back in the day many years ago, and I'm excited to see you actually play and perform here live.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It always is fun. Even if it's bad, it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, last question for you guys, for each of you. When it comes down to the last time that you perform, years and years and years from now, and you step off the stage for the final time, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to leave? And when people think, man, Ben Hans, or PJ Farley, what do you want your legacy to be? And it doesn't even have to be music.
I can go first. Oh wow. I don't know. I guess it would be just that, you know, if that day, when that day occurs, that, you know, people just remember that they had fun watching music that I performed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they enjoyed that and they had a great time, and that was a memory for them. That'd be about it.
Yeah, I hope, you know, people just kind of walk away from really any one of my performances, let it be, if it's my last, when that comes, that they just say, you know, he meant that. You know, whatever that performance is, he meant that shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you find it difficult separating Ben and PJ, the performers, from Ben and PJ, the men?
I'm always on.
Always on.
It kind of is.
Okay.
No, I hear what you're saying. Yes and no. I'm a Gemini, so that helps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, I have the kind of split personality going on. So, legit.
Legit. Guys, I can't thank you enough. I'll do this. And
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for the show tonight. Guys, it's going to be incredible. Have a few clips from the show later on. Again, thanks to Ben and PJ for hanging out with us. Everybody here at Guitar Wishes, talk to you soon.
If you're straying within the lead of my emotions, I feel you push your way up to the surface. If you're a grain of sand set aside the ocean, I find you there and see you shining through. 'Cause you stick out in a way that no one else can, and you stick out. There's no way that I could lose you. You stick out.
Cruising for a bruising.